Hey, what's up? It's Cletus, Coffey, the founder of BeTheTorch.com, where I help business owners get past the stress and the pressure to perform and provide so that they can find success and fulfillment in all areas of life. Now, have you ever found yourself after a long day at the office? You've worked hard all day, and whether something happened at the office that was a success on the scoreboard, whether you got a new client, you made a few sales, you developed a nice partnership, like something that you can track on the scoreboard happened for you, or maybe it didn't. Maybe you just put forth a tremendous amount of effort that may or may not have moved the needle, but you took action, you put forth a lot of effort. You then come home, and if you live alone, it's crickets there, or you come home to a family and maybe you have an intimate partner at home, and you walk in the door and they say, hey, great to see you, hope you had a great day, but the kids need to be fed and I need you to start getting on dinner, and it just, the chaos of life then unfolds. And yet you were seeking some sort of recognition, some sort of comment about your effort and the work that you did, some sort of external validation about what you just accomplished, and you didn't get it. And see, this is a challenge for so many people like you and I. We're driven, we're high achievers. For me, it started in sports. Yeah, sure, I did sports because I love playing and I love the process and training. However, it sure was nice to win and to be recognized for my wins. See, whether it was in the newspaper, yes, I dated myself there, or on social media, or from family, loved ones to cheer you on and celebrate you and say, you're amazing, you played so well. It feels good. And it's addicting because we want more of that. And so then we begin to do things to seek that type of external validation. And when we get it, we feel good. And we don't get it, we begin to question ourselves. What's wrong with me? Maybe I'm not good enough. Or maybe they don't care about me because they're not recognizing me. They're not filling me up emotionally. Now, the challenge here really stems not from the need to have someone in your life to give you that type of external validation, but it's you not having your personal culture down. And what I mean by that is you shouldn't need anyone else to fill you up, to validate you. You got to do it yourself. And we didn't learn this. I was never taught this. It's a scenario where, as high achievers, we have to be intentional with building our personal culture. And what I mean really by that is it shouldn't matter. It would be nice. I shouldn't say it shouldn't matter. It would be nice. It's a nice to have. It's an add-on if you have someone in your life that recognizes you, that validates you, that shows their appreciation for you. Yes, that would be a nice to have, but it should not dictate your confidence, your self-worth, your belief in your relationship, because you need to be able to give yourself that. So now if you can give yourself the validation, the recognition, those positive affirmations, anything you get from the outside world is just icing on the cake. But that's not how we were taught. That's not how we were trained. So we have to recognize that when we want that and when we need that type of validation, that we have to give it to ourselves first. And there's a couple key ways in which to do that, because most times, us as high achievers, we only praise ourselves when we get something on the scoreboard accomplished. Like you made a sale, you got a new partnership, you got a deal, let's celebrate, I feel good. You got to realize that the effort, the little things you're putting in to move the needle, even if it's just 1%, is something to be recognized for and to be appreciated. So we have to get in the habit of giving it to ourselves. So here's what happens, because if we don't, then the negative thoughts creep up. What's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. No one is going to want to do business with me. My spouse doesn't appreciate me, doesn't love me. You're blaming, you're pointing to the outside. We got to go inside first. So it doesn't matter what anyone else says. If it's negative or it's not complimentary, then it slides off your back because you know who you are. You know what you're capable of. You know what you've done. Or if it is validating and it feels good and you're being recognized, then it's icing on the cake. So it starts with you and the strength of your own personal culture and being intentional. So here's what needs to happen. Every single day, you need to be recognizing where your little wins are. What's the work that you've done? So I do this in the morning. It's part of my EDDs. I map out what I'm grateful for. Then I put down my own affirmations. I got to recognize and affirm myself. And then at the end of the day, I map out my little wins. So now what happened today? And we have to map those little wins, because if we only celebrate the big wins, we're going to struggle. And that's where the anxiety creeps in. That's where the stress happens for so many of us. So what I want you to do is you got to start to go inward and essentially learn how to reframe. So when you find yourself with a negative thought, something that isn't validating or positively affirming, you have to reframe that and turn it into what is true. What are the facts about it? So I'll give you an example. Over the past several weeks, I've found myself stuck. I've just been overwhelmed. I've got so much going on. I'm creating content. I'm putting together landing pages. I'm putting together funnels. Like, it's just, there's so much going on. And I felt extremely overwhelmed and I was frustrated. And I thought, this is, what's wrong with me? How come everyone else seems to be able to figure this out? We go straight to there. And I know it's not true. Okay? I know I'm entirely capable of. So that's where I pause. Number one, I get present. And how we get present is we map out the facts. What is the truth in the present moment? Not the story I'm trying to tell myself, but what is true in the present moment? And I get clear on that. Once you see the facts, it's easy to reframe the story from I'm overwhelmed, I'm not capable of doing this, to, I've had a lot going on and I applaud myself for being able to take on as much as I have. And I'm entirely capable of accomplishing this and knocking these tasks off and getting my message out there. And reframing is I'm capable. It is possible for me to keep moving forward. So it's the reframing, especially when you get those negative thoughts that creep up. So we need to be our own internal cheerleaders, our own internal support and validators, and know that when we do that, that builds confidence. That raises our feeling of who we are and what we're capable of. When we do it for ourselves versus craving to get it from others. Because when we don't get it from others, then we go into the negative. What's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. They don't care about me. Which is not true. None of it isn't true. And so we got to go and do it for ourselves. You with me on this? This is really important. And this is a huge boost for your confidence when you can do it for yourself and not have to rely on others to give you that validation. You do it for yourself. So if confidence is something that is something that you're working on and you want to grow and make sure that your confidence is part of your day-to-day activities and routines, I want to be able to help support you in that. So if you go to cletuscoffey.com/confidence, I have a free document there really to help you map out a level of just getting a base foundation of confidence. So we're not ebbing and flowing and our confidence is high when something on the scoreboard does well. Now we're feeling good, but when something on the scoreboard doesn't do well, right? We didn't get a sale, we're not making enough money. Now our confidence is in the tank. Man, that flowing on the up and down of the waves of the ocean is we are being dictated by the external environment. You need to be intentional with creating your own confidence. If you go to cletuscoffey.com/confidence, let's get your confidence up. And with that, remember, it starts with you. You have to affirm and validate yourself. Everything else is just icing on the cake.